Hi everyone, in this video we'll be seeing type C questions of functions chapter. Takes amount in dollars. So the function must have one parameter which is going to take amount in dollar. And what is the functionality that must be done inside is it has to convert into rupee and then returns the amount converted to rupees, which is the value which is going to return to the main function. And they're asking you to write both in void and non-void form. So we have to pass two values, which is dollars and what is the exchange rate with which we have to multiply. After multiplying dollars into exchange rate, we are going to convert the dollar value into rupee. When we are returning something, then it is non-void. If it is void, then we should not return anything. Whatever we are returning here, just print it over here. Return, change it into print and write the same thing. That is the way we can change non-void form into void form. Write a function to calculate volume of the box with appropriate parameters. Your function should have the following input parameter and test it by writing complete program: length, width, and height. So here, length, width, and height must be passed as a parameter, and we have to find the volume. B and H, we can have some initial values, and that can be passed as a parameter to the volume function. Even if the values are not passed, these are some extras I have just given. Even without writing this default values also, you can have this volume function. Okay. You need to know what must be passed as the parameter to the function and what is the return value. The multiplication of all the three values is going to give you the volume. Program to have the following function. A function that takes a number as argument and calculates cube for it. One number must be taken as the argument and a cube must be found out. How to find a cube of a number? By multiplying it by thrice or to the power 3. Anything can be done. The function does not return a value if there is no value passed to the function. They are telling that the function should not return. There must not be any return statement to that function. And if there is no value passed to the function in the function call, the function should calculate cube of 2. No value passed in the sense there must be a default value to the argument which is supplied to the function. The default value must be 2. How to write the answer is by having a function called cube, which is going to find x power 3. Whatever value we are passing, it must be finding the cube of the given number. So that is why we are having x power 3. When I'm not passing any value to the function, here I'm not passing any value. By default, it has to find the power of 2. So that is why the default value x is equal to 2 is being given here. And when I'm passing a parameter, it has to take the value which is passed as the parameter. A function that takes two character argument and returns true if both the arguments are equal, otherwise false. Takes two character arguments. So two character arguments must be passed as a argument to the function, and it has to be if it is equal, it has to return true. So how to write the answer? By returning, if A is equal to B, it has to return true. If it is not, it is going to return false. So I'm passing two characters here, two character, which is passed as a parameter to the function. And when I'm passing it here, it is going to check whether the two arguments are equal. If it is equal, it is going to print true. Otherwise, if it is not equal, it will be printing false. Write a function that receives two numbers and generates a random number from that range. Using this function, the main program should be able to print three numbers randomly. So receiving two numbers in the sense there must be two arguments passed to the function, and it has to generate a random number from that range. Two numbers which is being passed. From that, how to generate a random number? You already have the random module from which you have to make use of a function. And from that, we need to generate at least three numbers randomly using the main program by calling that function. You can have import random def random in range a comma b. Here return random dot rand range. Rand range is a function which you have to make use. Random is the module from which we are making use of the function rand range. We also have some other functions also. Rand int is also available. Rand range will consider from a, starting from a until the value which is before b. It will not consider until b. So that is the difference between rand int and rand range. You have to know all the differences. And from the main program, they're asking us to generate three random numbers. So we can call the same function three times by passing some values to a and b, so that three random numbers will get generated. Def nth root x comma n is equal to 2. So let us see the next question. Write a function namely nth root that receives two parameters x and n and returns nth root of x. So the two parameters are x and n. You can have as x and n. How to find the nth root x comma? By using the POW function, x comma 1 by n can be return. So it is going to find the nth root. Why are we using n is equal to 2 is because the default value they have given it as 2. So we can specify n is equal to 2. If no value is being passed as a parameter for the second value, it has to find the square root by default. Write a function that takes a number n and then returns a randomly generated number having exactly n digits. So if I'm passing the number 2, it has to generate a number between 10 and 99, and they have given but 0702 must not be considered into account. So the first number must not be considered as a 0. It must be a number other than 0. That is a condition here. If I'm telling a number 7, so 7-digit number must be produced, in the sense first number must not be 0. If the first number is 0, then it is a 6-digit number only. So that is a condition they have given here. Import random. So random must be surely used because we need to generate some numbers. So random. Here a function is being written with n as the value passed as a parameter. Here what we have to do is we are going to generate some number between 1 and 9. And those number between 1 and 9 must be available in all the places, right? In all the places. But if the first iteration, for the first iteration alone, it must not have 0. It must not have 0. That is why we are having the number from 1 to 9 alone for the first iteration. Other than the first iteration, we can have any numbers from 0 to 9. Hope you have understood. So from 0, 1, 2 until 9, we can have all these numbers starting from the second iteration. I can have only the numbers from 1 to 9 for first iteration. What we can have is, initially first iteration must be true, because initially when it is coming inside the loop, first iteration is going to happen. So we can have it as true, and surely it is going to be true. If true, it is going to come inside, and a random number will be generated between 1 and 9. And as soon as it has executed the first iteration, what we can do is we can make the first iteration as false. First iteration will become false, and after this, in the else condition, when it is going to the second iteration onwards, it will not come to the first if condition. It will directly come to the else condition only, because we have made the first iteration as false. So all the numbers between 0 to 9 will be generated from the second iteration onwards. And what are we doing? As soon as we are generating any number, we are adding it up, because we are converting the number into string. When I am adding one string with the other, for example, 5 is a string which I have randomly generated with the first iteration, and 0 is the number which I have generated in the second iteration. If I'm adding it, I will be getting 50 as a string. So as and when I'm generating a number, I'm converting into string, and I'm adding it with the already generated number. I'm storing it in a variable called num. When I'm doing that, I should have num must be initialized to nothing, to an empty string. Num must be initialized, only then I can add it up. If I'm not using this line, then it is going to throw you an error in this place. You have to initialize whenever you are using some string added up to another string. So when you are returning the number, it is going to randomly return a 7-digit number if you are passing 7 as the parameter. A function that takes 2 numbers and returns a number that has maximum 1's digit. Already we know how to find the 1's digit. By finding the 1's digit of the 2 numbers, we have to check which is the greater one or the lesser one. They are asking because it has got the minimum 1's digit out of the 2. The minimum 1's value must be printed in the screen. So one function you can write which is going to have 2 arguments to be passed inside, and when we are passing it, we can find x mod, first number mod 10 and second number mod 10. So we'll be having the unit value of x stored in unit x, unit value of y stored in unit y, the last digit. So after finding which is lesser, that value will be returned. If unit x is lesser, then x value will be returned. If unit y is lesser, y value will be returned. So this is how you have to write the function. Program, write a program that generates a series using a function that takes the first and last values of the series and then generate 4 terms which are equidistant. If the 2 numbers passed are 1 and 7, so the number which must be passed must be the first value and the last value. Let us see the answer. The first value is A and the last value is L. Suppose if I am passing 1 and 7 itself, I need the answer as 1, 3, 5, 7, because there are some other method also to write this. What you can do is you can add 1 and 7. After adding 1 and 7, you'll be getting 8. If you divide it by 4, because we need 4 numbers to get generated, if you divide it by 4, you can have 2. When we are adding 2 to this number, 1 plus 2 will be getting 3. Then 3 plus 2 we can get 5, 5 plus 2 we can get 7. This is one method of writing the answer. The other method is, what you can do is, you can find 7 minus 1 divided by 3. Got it. Now you will be getting 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 3 will be 2. After getting 2, that can be added to each and every number. And this is a arithmetic progression sort of answering the question. Here A can be written first, then A plus D. D is nothing but the difference between the value D, and A plus 2D, A plus 3D, it goes on like that. So complete series is a function with which we can call the initial and the last number, so that we can generate any series of this form. Thank you for watching this video.